Hail Satire with Vic Shetty. Hail Satire with Vic Shetty. Jazz with Vic Ooh, welcome to Hail Satire. My name is Vic Shetty, and today we have a very special presentation for you. Halloween is upon us. And I am joined by the scariest man in the world, Mr. Scott White. He's a comedy sports favorite and a stand-up extraordinaire, and he is here to share with you his favorite horror movies that span across the decades. So if you think you are man enough, or lady enough, we do not judge, I encourage you to grab a big bowl of popcorn, a large drink, and a loved one to shield you from the terror that is Scott White's Spooky Time Spectacular Horror Movie List! Woo! It's almost Halloween.
Almost Halloween, yes.
And you are a horror fanatic, is that fair?
Yeah, I guess. Not a fanatic, but I enjoy a good horror movie.
You see a horror movie, then you murder someone. That is the definition.
And then I can blame the movie when I go on trial.
It works for a lot of politicians.
I always wonder if when a girl goes into stripping, if she blames showgirls.
You have to see that shitty movie to know that reference. So Scott White here is got how many movies we got on the dais? Your favorite horror films, right?
Yes. Well, I see that you guys you're going to have a showing of The Shining.
Indeed, we are. Yes.
Which is a very good horror movie.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And
a Kubrick. I'm always a big fan of
Kubrick.
Yeah.
Who drove Shelley Duvall insane during that movie.
Really?
Yes. She had a nervous breakdown.
Wow.
Because she had to have a nervous breakdown in the movie, so Kubrick just berated her and all that. So all the anguish and you see on the screen is real.
Did they shoot it in order?
They didn't shoot it in order, but
wow, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Also, an interesting fact about The Shining is the beginning where you see that long drive to the Overlook Hotel.
Sure.
That was an unused ending of Blade Runner. The theatrical cut of Blade Runner showed Harrison Ford and Sean Young escaping together to get married, and there's this big long ride. Well, they used that at the beginning. Well, actually, I guess Blade Runner used that from The Shining. Yeah. Because The Shining came first.
Well, that's seamless. Well, I first saw The Shining. Is Shining the first on your list?
Officially? Oh, I just picked because I saw that you were showing it. So.
Well, I first saw The Shining in a hotel. I was on vacation, and we're bored. We watched The Shining, and I didn't know it was set in a hotel until I saw it, and then I didn't want to leave my bed because it is frightening.
Yes, it's. This is one of the films where Jack Nicholson going over the top actually
it worked out. Yeah.
You know, it's like he could have gone a little farther. And here's Johnny. Ad-libbed.
Really?
Not the script.
And it is supposed to be from The Tonight Show. It's the same.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. God, that's great.
Totally ad-libbed. And Kubrick, who was not a fan of ad-libbing, left it in.
Wow.
Another Kubrick, not really, Clockwork Orange.
Great movie, yeah.
Yes. Where Malcolm McDowell, where during the rape scene, he starts singing in the rain.
Yeah.
That ad-libbed.
Wow.
Didn't have the rights for the song. Kubrick, they had to pay an extra $20,000 to get the rights to the song to put it in the movie because Kubrick enjoyed it so much.
Well, that's funny that some of Kubrick's best moments are ad-libbed.
Yes.
Because I know my favorite movie of all time is Dr. Strangelove. Mm-hmm. And there's that great scene where Buck Turgidson is giving a speech like, they're on the big board, they're going to clobber us. And he trips over himself, he's so excited. Totally ad-lib. George C. Scott wanted out of the movie because it made him look like a fool. And Kubrick was like, oh God, we're keeping that. It's hilarious. Another great moment that he didn't plan.
Okay, Dr. Strangelove.
Yeah.
As you can see, if you're watching the movie, and we're getting off of horror movies here, it's the Kubrick hour. You can see there's a bunch of cakes and pies around.
Yeah.
The movie ends originally in a pie fight. And one of the lines is the Peter Sellers as the president gets hit in the face of the pie. And somebody yells, "Oh my God, the president has been hit." Kennedy gets assassinated.
Yeah.
So they can't use that footage.
Yeah.
So they have to reshoot the ending.
Yeah.
So you see all these pies and cakes around, but you don't. What the hell is so?
Yeah, I know they had to change a lot of things because they basically opened like a month after, really soon after.
Right. Yeah.
I know there's one line where Slim Pickens is in the plane and he's looking at a box of like porno and like firecrackers. He's like, "Man, a guy could have a good time in Dallas with all this shit." And then he had to change it to Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, The Shining, great film. We just had a show all about The Simpsons last week. I had your buddy Ben Mattice was in here,
yeah.
and Kelly Harkins was on the phone. Yeah. And they were my favorite Simpsons.
Oh, Harkins couldn't bring his ass in here. He's
No,
gonna phone it in.
He's got a wife and a bed and a job. But
not in that order.
But we talked about my favorite Simpsons episode, a Halloween episode where they do the shinin. Have you seen this? Where groundskeeper Willie, "You got the shin, boy."
Don't you mean Shining?
Don't want to get sued? Okay, so The Shining, great horror movie.
Evil Dead, first one, 1981, Bruce Campbell. I'm a big Bruce Campbell fan.
Sure.
And that one is played. The Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness are played for laughs.
Yeah.
The first one is a total horror movie from start to finish.
Yeah.
And the wood rape scene is hard to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
Where the lady gets raped by the woods.
Okay.
Yeah. But that was one of Sam Raimi's first movies, and it has a lot of atmosphere. The blood and the gore it looks so fake that it bothers you.
Yeah.
That it looks so fake. It's like, could it be real because it looks so fake?
Yeah, when you watch this thing, I mean, I know his other ones are played for comedy, but this one's so campy.
This one is...
It's horror, but it's a little, like, it's off a smidge.
Yeah. The scene, where the chick gets a pencil in the ankle. I can't... Oh.
Yeah. And this might be the first on your list, I'm sure many of them, but a remake. People know this remake for being shitty and much, much, much more extreme. You definitely recommend the original.
I recommend the original. I don't know where people... what is that? Necessity is the mother of invention.
Sure, that's an expression.
So they had... the first one, they had nothing. They were working with nothing, and they had to make it work.
Yeah.
And that's brilliant in my eyes, that they made it work on a shoestring.
Yeah.
And with atmosphere.
Sure.
And all that.
Now, was this the first in the genre of a bunch of stupid kids go into the woods and something terrible happens? Because we've had many movies since.
Friday the 13th came before that.
Okay.
And they were specific. Friday the 13th, and which is a good movie. You just have to overlook the fact that these 7 vital teenagers were killed by a middle-aged housewife. Yeah, it's like, wow. None of you could have stand up to Ma Parker.
Maybe you deserved to die.
Yeah, exactly. And it took, but you think, oh, she's got that crazy strength. But well, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
They had to find, the writer in his mind was like, I have to find a place where adults wouldn't be. Mm-hmm. And they thought of the camp. Mm-hmm. And logically where they wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Not like Children of the Corn where they've all been killed.
Yeah.
So, by the way, shitty movie. Children of the Corn.
Never actually seen it.
Nothing to do with the short story.
Yeah.
Shitty movie. Mark Children of the Corn off your list. So
often parodied. I've seen that. Yeah.
Often sequeled. I think there's like 7 or 8 sequels.
God. The horror movies are allowed to do as many sequels as they want. We're on Paranormal Activity 8 and Saw 17 and
Final Destination 6.
Oh,
you think
God.
they'd fucking be there by now? How many Final Destinations can you have?
Last exit to Final Destination.
Yes. That reminds me of the Simpson joke. when Lionel Hutz sued the makers of the Neverending Story.
Oh yeah, it ended.
But Friday the 13th was the first. Halloween was the first slasher movie.
Okay.
Which wasn't really a slasher movie because there's hardly any blood in that movie.
Okay.
But that set up. But that was the premise of the unknown serial killer.
Now, for the uninitiated, a slasher movie is different than a horror movie. How?
A horror movie is psychological.
Okay.
More atmosphere,
suspense involved.
The slasher movie incorporates that, but to a lesser degree. And a slasher movie usually goes for gore and body count.
Okay.
To gain their audience.
Gotcha.
So,
we're just racking up numbers in the slasher film.
Right.
Okay.
Like Rear Window
yes.
it would be like a psychological horror.
Sure, because that is definitely a thinking movie. You can follow along with the character.
I can't. This guy is after me, and I can't get out.
Yeah.
I have a broken leg. I'm trapped here.
Exactly.
So
yeah. I just watched. I might be jumping ahead. I just watched the Omen, The Exorcist for the first time. Great film.
Yes.
And I noticed they don't make horror movies like that anymore because it's also a grounded film. Nothing scary really happens for 45 minutes. It's a drama at a certain level.
It is a drama. It's a short attention span where you want to. The original Fly, 1958.
Oh, with Jeff Goldblum?
No.
Not the ridiculous remake.
Now, I will say this: the remake of The Fly is a good movie.
It's a fun movie.
It's a fun movie, but the original Fly in 1958 is much like The Fly doesn't come in until maybe 50 minutes into the film.
Really?
Right, and once again, you have to take it for the time it was made. It was made in 58, so it was very. But I don't think we could make a film today where the build-up to the creature took that long. I don't think people would sit through it.
Oh, I totally agree. That's fair. When did the movie system change? I don't know this. I'm just pontificating. But Hitchcock was the first one to really kind of do scary cinema when there was still a code on him, right? I mean,
right.
And when I don't know, did it drop in the 60s where had
I believe it was in the... Well, they actually didn't... Early movie, they didn't invoke the
ranking system.
What was it? The Hayes office. That's what it was originally.
Okay,
the Hayes office,
okay.
And that came in the later 30s. So movies made in the early 30s, were re-edited.
Okay. To fit the system.
Gotcha. Yes. But the rating systems, I believe, came in. Maybe the late 60s, early 70s.
Okay, because I know we had, for a long time, you could only do what the studios allowed you to do, and then we had the X and everything else, basically.
Right.
And then they kind of sub-categorized it down, but I don't know how you do a horror movie when you're well, you can't have people die. You have to change, so Hitchcock did this with The Birds and...
Psycho.
Psycho.
Shower scene in Psycho was one of the... If you close your eyes and just it's sickening just to listen to that, but the knife going into.
Oh really?
Just if when you get to the shower scene, the original, not the remake. God damn it! Not the remake. The shot for shot remake. How can you fuck up a shot for shot remake? That's what I want. They reshot the movie scene for scene, and it was horrible. I don't know how you do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the original. When the shower scene starts, close your eyes and just listen to the. He lined up. He goes. He got a bunch of fruit: watermelon, honeydew, cantaloupes.
Yeah.
And he had somebody with a knife, and he shut his eyes, and they would stab that fruit. He'd stab that fruit, and he stabbed a cantaloupe. And he goes, "That's it. That's what a knife would sound going into the human body."
Oh my God!
So that's how he got. So the is actually somebody stabbing a cantaloupe.
Wow! And then of course the historic Hershey's chocolate going down the drain.
Yes.
To make it look dark like blood. Now, I on the idea of remakes, we do shot-for-shot remakes a lot now. But I think one thing that they didn't do back then that they do now, and it's like not a remake, but it totally is they just do biopics on the people who made the films. Like, did you see? I think it was just called Hitchcock. Alfred Hitchcock. Yeah, it was. They just do all his famous scenes shot for shot, and then they kind of cut away, and he's talking about it.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen that. So
they do that a lot. Okay, next film, Scott.
Let's see. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay.
The original, 1974. Once again, low budget. Mm-hmm. It's shot like a documentary. It looks like a documentary. It looks like it looks like somebody was just there filming it as it happened. It wasn't staged. So it has a very documentary quality to it. And once again, this is another film that doesn't have very much blood in it.
Yeah. For a chainsaw massacre. Now, the sequel went over the top with blood, but the original was the dinner scene where she's tied up in the house of the cannibals. Yeah.
That's a hard scene to watch sometimes because they're sitting around and she's just going nuts, and she knows that they're not going to. When there's nothing scarier when then you're in a room and everybody's crazy, so you can't rationalize. You know, if there's one person, it's just, you can pull aside, but when everybody is nuts, it's like, you can't rationalize with any of these people.
This is the most extreme case of a fish out of water sketch.
Exactly. Yeah. So, there's nobody there.
Yeah.
There's nobody there to help you.
That is scary. That's nightmares, right?
When you're in a room full of people and nobody can help you.
Yeah.
So.
Now, this is one of the ones I haven't seen. I haven't seen Texas Chainsaw.
Watch the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I think I might, maybe on Halloween.
Yes.
Is this the first found footage horror movie? Because that's so in vogue now.
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's shot as a movie. It has a documentary quality about it.
Okay. So
it's not
made on the quick.
Yes, made on the quick. There's also at the beginning of the movie there's a prologue, read by John Larroquette.
Oh, really?
Yes. So that also gives it a documentary feeling. It's this really happened. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
So the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, very little, but great characters. Great camera work.
Yeah.
There's a lot of camera work.
I'm gonna look some of these films up, see how many sequels they have, because that's
Texas
interesting to me.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre has 3 sequels and 2 remakes.
Yeah, I know they remade it recently. Texas Chainsaw 3D. They did.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. They have 3. Yeah. So 3 remakes. So,
there's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3,
Leatherface, and now Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4 has Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger with her old fucking face. now, Renee Zellweger did this Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4.
The beginning, is that that one?
I believe so.
There's Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation.
Next Generation. That's
okay.
That's with McConaughey and Zellweger. I think the movie was made right around the time of Jerry Maguire.
Oh, okay.
So they didn't want the movie released. They didn't want to see her in this piece of shit.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. Okay. Then we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the reboot, 2003.
Yes.
Michael Bay on board here, and then the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, 2006.
Yeah.
Michael Bay's still a producer here, and then Texas Chainsaw 3D.
So the interesting part about Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D was it attracted a lot of women because it didn't have a heroine. It had a big buff guy was the damsel in distress.
Okay. So. Yeah. So they're appealing to a whole different demographic.
Yes.
Okay.
Which I think is smart.
Now, okay, we're Texas folk. Is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre inherently Texas-y? Are they on an oil rig? Are they wearing cowboy hats?
No, well, it's Texas-y in the fact that it's in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
And they have a southern drawl.
Okay.
A lot of characters have southern drawl.
Yeah.
And
I guess that makes sense for McConaughey and Zellweger. They both have kind of thick accents.
But barbecue is...
This is the Dallas version of Texas, the old soap opera. This is what they see when they see Texas. Yes. Everyone's riding a cow, and
they're in a VW van for a lot of the.
Okay.
And this was shot in '74.
Okay.
So
we're just getting them down here in the '70s,
and some of the slang is funny.
Yeah.
From the '70s, but once again, the movie has aged well, except for for the clothing.
You have to just forgive
the clothing. You have to forgive that. You got to forgive the clothing because it's just...
What are you going to do?
Time. Yeah, what are you going to do?
All right. Well, very good. Texas Chainsaw Massacre goes on the list with The Shining and Evil Dead.
Evil Dead.
Yeah. What else we got here?
Now, I love the old Universal black and white. Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman.
Yeah.
Those are very... once again, they had to work... they couldn't use. They didn't have blood. They couldn't use. So it's very atmospheric, and the acting. Boris Karloff as the monster is fantastic.
Yeah,
he conveys sympathy and fear at the same time.
Wow. Yeah.
And Bela Lugosi. Actually, Dracula. Bela Lugosi only played Dracula in 2 movies.
Really?
He was only a vampire in 2 movies.
Wow.
Dracula and Abbott and Costello in Frankenstein. Those are the only 2 movies he played an actual vampire.
Now, didn't Bela Lugosi's kid do a lot of stuff too? I think I read that. Is this Lugosi Jr.? Maybe not. Maybe I'm making this up.
Lugosi Jr. was trying. He was trying to clean up his dad's name because his Bela Lugosi ended with Ed Wood.
Oh.
Plan 9 from... Okay, now if you... Plan 9 from Outer Space, yeah. So,
that's the funniest scary movie of all time.
That's it.
It's a sci-fi film.
Yeah. Yes. But they shot Dracula with Bela Lugosi, and they shot a Spanish version of Dracula at the same time.
Okay,
They shot the American version during the day. They shot the Spanish version at night.
Oh, that's fascinating.
The American version cost more, but I recommend watching the Spanish version and with subtitles because the Spanish version I believe they did a better job, and they left in some plot points which were cut from the English version.
Weird.
Yes, a couple of plot points which were cut, which doesn't ruin the movie, but it explains a little more when you watch the Spanish version.
Okay, so the Spanish version had a different cast?
All Spanish.
Okay.
All Spanish. It's shot, it's basically shot frame for frame. The movies are shot the same. Totally Spanish cast.
Wow.
So,
I've never heard of a movie studio doing that.
Yeah, they were...
that's cool. That's a cool idea.
It was at the beginning of talkies, and people wanted to hear movies in their own language.
Yeah.
And at the time, dubbing wasn't...
it's more trouble than it's worth.
More trouble than it was worth. So they shot the movie Dracula. Look up Spanish version, Dracula Spanish version, and watch it with the subtitles on, and it's just as good, if not better, than the original Dracula with Bela Lugosi.
Oh, good. That's a good recommendation. I'm taking a film class right now, and we just did a whole project on Lou Chaney. We saw The Phantom of the Opera.
You mean Lon Chaney?
Is it Lon Chaney?
Yes, Lon Chaney.
Sure, Lon Chaney. Yeah, he's a Lon Cherry.
Yeah.
And he, the man of 1,000 faces. Yeah, and really, I liked him in Phantom of the Opera. That was some really interesting stuff because he's in a mask almost the entire movie.
Right.
And he's really a physical guy, and it's scary.
He died at 46.
Wow.
He died of throat cancer because back then they used asbestos in fake snow, and they said a piece of asbestos got caught in his throat.
Oh my God!
And
that's
what they... I don't know if that's true or not, but he was 46 when he died.
Wow. Well, he had a huge body of work.
He did.
For someone who died pretty young.
And then Lon Chaney Jr., his son, starred in The Wolfman.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. It's not Bela Lugosi Jr., it's Lon Chaney Jr.
Lon Chaney Jr.,
yeah,
yes. Lon Chaney Jr. went on. Unfortunately, he drank himself to death. So.
Well, there you go. The Wolfman can have a drinking problem. That you wouldn't see the sweating underneath the suit.
Lon Chaney Jr.
Uh-huh.
was the only Universal actor to play Frankenstein's monster, Dracula, Mummy, Wolfman.
Wow.
He was the only one to play all 4 major monsters.
Wow.
Yes.
How did he get that chance? Did people just like quitting it, or?
Well, Boris Karloff quit after 3 Frankensteins.
Okay.
And Bela Lugosi. And Boris Karloff quit. He was originally the Mummy, so he quit after the Mummy. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot about name recognition back then. So Lon Chaney as the Mummy, Bela Lugosi as the monster, and stuff like that. So it was more name recognition.
Sure, you can fudge it if you go Lon Chaney Jr. in tiny.
Well, they eventually dropped the Junior.
Yeah,
he was Lon Chaney Jr. for a while, and then after a while he dropped the Junior, and so he was just Lon Chaney as well.
Why not? I think that's the perfect marketing technique. So, okay, these old horror movies, you think they hold up?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely. One that maybe is not a conventional horror movie, but The Invisible Man.
Oh, yeah.
In 1932 with Claude Rains.
Okay.
Is very good, and once again, he's a very good actor because he has a role that Bela Lugosi turned down because I'm going to be in bandages for 95% of the film.
Yeah.
His vanity took over, so they gave it to Claude Rains, and that's maybe the special effects of the time are fantastic.
Yeah,
it's not what we have now, but what they had to go through to get the special effects is amazing for the time, early 30s.
Yeah,
and Claude Rains does a good job wrapped in bandages for most of the film. Mm-hmm. And it's not a typical horror movie. Sounds
early sci-fi, really.
It is H.G. Wells. It's based on H.G. Wells' novel, so it is more sci-fi than horror. And there's a love story. Most of these Universal pictures too have love stories mixed in. Wolfman does, Invisible Man.
That is a weird combination of emotions. You're like, I'm terrified, but I want them to be together.
Yes, I think they played the doomed lovers card a lot in those movies. Like they're never going to. They want to be together, but they're never going to be together.
Yeah. Now the interesting thing, I think, for all people that are younger, maybe people that actually hear the show, these things are so often parodied that you know the basic plot points of Frankenstein, the Wolfman, Invisible Man. You know this stuff, but you may not have actually seen the film. It's weird to watch things retroactively like that. Like,
yes.
There's a comedian I love, this is just a dumb anecdote, but he saw Spaceballs before he saw Star Wars. And when he saw Star Wars, like, this is just unfunny Spaceballs. Why do I want to watch this? So I think a lot of people that see this stuff for the first time, it's like, it is amazing because what they were able to do back then, it still holds up. It's still a film.
The makeup back there was fantastic.
Yeah.
And
the efforts
and acting in the makeup is... And... Well, like you said, parodied. When, whenever somebody talks like this, it's Dracula. That was Bela Lugosi.
They're just doing one guy,
They're just doing, all those, gonna talk like this. It's, Bela Lugosi. It's Dracula. So
on the Abbott and Costello cake, how many times did they meet blank? They meet Frankenstein, or
they meet Frankenstein. They meet the Invisible Man. They meet Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Well, in Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. Frankenstein's in the movie. Wolfman's in the movie. Dracula's in the movie. Invisible Man is in the movie.
So they get all of the guys.
They get all of the guys in that one.
That's so cool.
But I think that's all the movie. And I think one they meet Boris Karloff.
Just
said Abbott and Costello meet Boris Karloff.
Hey, Boris didn't want to do the character, but he was like, "I'll be in it." But okay, so we got the classic, the quadrumvirate. How do you do that? 4 important people.
The quadfecta.
A quadfecta. Okay, you got the important quadfecta of the 30s and late 40s, early 40s, I guess. What else we got on the dais?
What else we have on the dais is Ernest Scared Stupid.
I'm a fucking huge Ernest fan.
I'm an Ernest fan, too.
Oh, yeah.
Jim Varney did not... I think Jim Varney did not get enough credit as being an actor because he played a dimwit. But he was a very good actor.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So, yeah, Ernest Scared Stupid. I saw that first. That was probably my first horror movie. I loved that movie as a kid.
There was a movie called... the first... I think one of the first horror movies played for comedy. Mm-hmm. It's a movie called Student Bodies.
Okay.
Shot, I believe, in Houston, 1981.
Wow. And
it has things like in the movie, like on the corner, it has a body count. Oh. So somebody dies, and there's funny moments in it, and I think that was one of the first genres where they stepped in, and it's like, let's combine comedy and horror movies.
Yeah. And now we have...
like I said, we have Abbott and Costello movie.
Yeah.
But the modern version of that.
And now we have shit like Scary Movie, which is just unwatchable.
Yeah, horrible. Yeah.
Now, did you ever play the game? I've seen videos of this, of the interactive horror game Night Trap. Do you know this? No, it's I think it's one of the few on this system. I don't even know what system it is, but it is... you are just a viewer that goes from room to room in this like Barbie style house, and you see these girls playing pillow fight, and there's a killer in the house, and you can move from room to room and follow them. It's a weird game. I don't know. I recommend that.
A little offbeat movie that I really enjoy. One of my favorites. It's called Shockwaves.
Okay.
Made in 1976, I believe, and it's Nazi zombies. Nazi underwater zombies.
No, gotta have 3.
Yes. It stars John Carradine and Peter Cushing.
Okay.
Which means one dies at the beginning of the film and one dies at the end of the film.
Gotcha.
So, but
Nazi zombies.
Nazi
That's
zombies. Awesome. Nazi underwater zombies.
Yeah.
In World War II, they made these super soldiers to fight underwater.
Sure.
Modern day, 1976. Mm. They're disturbed, and these people are trapped on an island. And the music, and I should go back to this. The music in these horror movies is crucial for the effect. Mm-hmm. John Carpenter first viewed Halloween with no music. Uh-huh. He goes, "This isn't scary at all." He goes, "Not scary at all." Mm-hmm. Then he went back and so he put. And the music scares the music scares the... You hear that music.
Yeah.
Just like in Friday the 13th with...
Yeah.
The music in Shockwaves, it's just very... It's very deadening.
Okay.
It's like you hear this music, and the music is despair. It's like, these people don't stand a chance because of this music.
Yeah. Man, that's fascinating. I know Quentin Tarantino doesn't let anybody score his movies because he's afraid of giving someone that much power that's not him in a film. The music is an incredibly integral part, and a lot of horror movies don't use it much anymore.
No.
Even with this found footage stuff, you wouldn't have it, so you don't have it, and it really changes the way the movies are made.
Music is a character in a horror movie.
Sure. Well, do you have any recommendations for what people should see this Halloween? Is there a lot of choices to pick from? Is there one that you go to, like, this is what I watch every year?
Well, what I watch every year is I watch the Frankenstein movie.
Okay.
Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Son of Frankenstein, Ghost of Frankenstein, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, House of Dracula, House of Frankenstein, Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. That's 8 movies I watch back to back, and that tells the incomplete story. Maybe not Abbott and Costello, but that's the arc of the Frankenstein story. Mm-hmm. So
that's an absurdly long day.
Yes.
You just stay home, give candy every once in a while, but you're not leaving the couch.
I don't give candy. No.
Well, it's very good stuff. God, you ever have an interest in doing something like that? Would you ever pursue a horror film?
I would like to be in a horror movie at one time. And we came up, Chad Minshew.
Yeah, Chad Minshew was on the show just a month ago, yeah.
We batted around an idea called Beefcake Massacre, where instead of sorority girls, it's frat guys.
Hot dudes
getting killed and stuff. So it's a Beefcake Massacre.
Uh-huh.
And And that's something that we...
You could make that on no money, Scott.
Yes.
You could do that. Yeah.
Just with the men from Comedy Sports.
Sure. Oh, yeah. A lot of beefcakes going on there. Get Kelly Harkins in the flesh.
That's
you
right.
got yourself a movie.
No, Kelly will phone in his performance.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the Scott White Spooky Time Spectacular Horror Movie List. If you want to find those movies, check Netflix or maybe Amazon. Woo! Also, if you like Scott White, we have a full interview with him on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/VicShati. Love Scott White. Would love to have him back. And until next time, happy Halloween! Ooh, subscribe for future interviews! Ooh!